Hi, this is Jacob Allen with EDL 853 Mod 9 about People First Language. People First Language. So the first thing I have here is a quote from Snow is, "Did you know that people with disabilities constitute our nation's largest minority group? 1 in 5 Americans has a disability." And then the second one is the definition of People First Language. So the literal definition is People First Language puts the person before the disability and describes what a person has, not who a person is. So just some critiques of previous language that are used in schools and things I've heard as well over the years. So things you're not going to want to use are saying this person is handicapped, this person is disabled, my child has special needs, the student has special needs, the student suffers from or is a victim of, because we don't want to put the students as we don't want to put the student down that way. Likewise with the phrase, here's what's wrong, or what's wrong with my child is. And then you want to avoid starting with a label when you're talking about students. You don't want to use the phrase can't. You don't want to say this student can't walk. And then you don't also, when you're having a conversation, you don't want to assume a student's abilities. So some new phrases you could use instead, you could say a person with, and then followed by whichever thing is what they have an ailment of. The person has, just be direct. This person needs a wheelchair in order to move around. Start with the person first. Make sure you're talking about what they can do. Be natural and ask about their interests. So it's all about just rephrasing the words. This student is a person with a disability. This person has a handicap and can move around with a wheelchair. So those are the examples. You're just changing the phrase in order to enable the student instead of say what the student cannot do. Because we don't want to talk about everything a person can't do. Similarly, we also don't do that when we talk about ourselves, which was a point brought up by multiple articles. And then lastly, I used these 2 articles from the resources. The first one I felt covered most of it fairly well, so that's why I stuck with mainly just the one. And then the second one was talking about having conversations with students with a disability. Was the second one, or the Snow was the first one, and the Riv Online was the other. Thank you for listening.